The story begins with Christian, a geologist. As he arrives home, he sees his wife fixing a kitchen pipe because such problems keep happening often. Christian then tells his family that they are finally moving to a new house since he has been transferred. Everyone feels happy hearing this news. After some time, Christian goes back to his office to collect his belongings. Just as he is about to leave, he suddenly hears an alarm. When he checks it, he finds out that the groundwater level has dropped drastically, which doesn't make any sense because there are no other unusual activities detected. This makes him worried. However, his boss calms him down, saying everything is fine since the mountains are stable and no sensors are showing any danger. Trusting his boss, Christian leaves, and later while waiting to board a ferry, Christian can't stop thinking about how the groundwater could drop so suddenly. Then his eyes fall on a mountain, and suddenly something clicks in his mind. He immediately rushes back to the geology center and talks to his former coworker. He explains that the issue is not with the sensors, but with the cables connected to them. Christian tells them that the groundwater might have created new paths underground, forming new layers and causing friction, which could have broken the cables. If the connection is lost, the sensors won't detect anything, giving a false sense of safety. When Christian and his co-worker go to check the cables, they discover that they are indeed broken. After returning to the center, Christian becomes very angry because the team failed to properly analyze the situation. According to the system, they can only issue a minor warning, which won't cause panic in the city. But Christian is convinced that the danger is far greater than it appears. At this time, Christian goes to his children, but gets worried when they're not near the ferry. It turns out they had already gone back to their mother at the hotel. His son tells him he will come later with his mom, so Christian leaves with his daughter. Meanwhile, at the geology center, George notices strange sensor data and unusual pressure in the rocks. He informs his boss, who decides to go inside the mountain with a colleague to check it himself. Christian, still worried, calls the center again. After hearing everything, he checks his old research files and realizes something important. The mountains are not moving apart, they are pulling closer, which is a clear sign of a tsunami. He quickly tries to inform the center, but his boss is already inside the mountain. Just then, a strong earthquake hits. The mountains shake, both men get injured, and the colleague's leg gets trapped under rocks. Their connection with the center is lost. At the same time, reports come in that water levels are dropping, confirming a tsunami is coming. Christian immediately calls his co-worker and tells them to trigger a red alert and evacuate the city. The alarm is activated, and people start running out in panic. As rescue teams head toward the mountains, more tremors hit, making the situation worse. At that moment, a rock suddenly falls and hits the boss on the head, and he dies on the spot. Meanwhile, Christian is standing on the road with his daughter. There is a massive traffic jam, and he is telling people to leave their cars and run toward higher ground. During this, he notices that his neighbor is stuck between two cars. He tells his daughter to go with the neighbors and goes himself to help the trapped people. On the other side, we see the hotel where Christian's Wi-Fi works. She starts knocking on doors to alert all the guests. Suddenly, she realizes that her son is missing. Back on the road, Christian manages to rescue his neighbor and tries to take her to a safer place. But then he sees that the tsunami is very close now. There is nothing much he can do. So, he quickly gets inside a car with his neighbor, and at that exact moment, the tsunami wave crashes into them, and both of them lose consciousness. At the hotel, Aiden finally finds her son. She takes him and the guests outside, but they see that the emergency bus has already left. The tsunami is right in front of them. They rush back inside the hotel and enter the emergency bunker. However, one guest fails to get inside in time, and the water breaks all the glass and floods in, sweeping the guest away. Aiden quickly seals the bunker doors and windows tightly with her son. As soon as they do that, the lights go out. The scene cuts, and we see Christian, who had been unconscious. When he wakes up, he sees his neighbor beside him, covered in blood and dead. This shocks and saddens him deeply. Somehow, he drags himself out of the car and climbs up the hill where he sees other survivors. He starts searching for his daughter, and as soon as he finds Julia, he runs and hugs her tightly, then silently looks back at his neighbor. It's as if he is silently saying, "I couldn't save your wife, forgive me." At the geology center, George receives a call from the man who was trapped in the mountains with the boss. He informs him that their boss has died, and everyone is left in shock. Meanwhile, Christian is now deeply worried about his wife and son. The tourist bus hasn't arrived yet, so he decides to go to the hotel himself to check on them, leaving his daughter with a neighbor. On the other side, we see the hotel basement where water has started entering. Aiden and her son are holding the door tightly to stop the water. Aiden tells her son to keep holding it while she tries to find an escape route through the vents. But as soon as she moves away from the door, the water starts rushing in even faster, and her son gets angry, saying he can't handle it. Aiden also gets frustrated, not understanding what her son is trying to do in such a critical moment. There's another man there as well. Unable to find a way out, he starts panicking even more and tells Aiden that if they keep waiting for help like this, they will surely die. At the same time, Christian is making his way toward the hotel through the devastating floodwaters. When he reaches a slightly safer area, he spots the tourist bus. He quickly checks inside and finds one of his colleagues dead. This makes him sad, but that sadness quickly turns into relief when he realizes that Aiden and his son are not in the bus, which means they might still be alive. He immediately heads back toward the hotel. Inside the basement, the situation is getting worse. The room is filling up with water rapidly. Their bodies are almost completely submerged, and there is barely any space left to breathe. The other man becomes extremely desperate. Finding no support to stay above water, he pushes Aiden's son down and uses him to keep himself afloat. When Aiden sees her son in danger, she pulls that man under the water and drowns him, saving her son's life. By now, we see that Christian has also reached the hotel. Even after searching the entire place, he cannot find his wife and son anywhere. He doesn't check the basement because it is already filled with water, and he assumes no one could be alive there. Just as he is about to leave, he notices his son's bag. Seeing that, he feels that both of them might be dead. This thought makes him so angry that he starts kicking the window repeatedly. The sound reaches Aiden and her son in the basement, and they realize that someone is upstairs. Aiden is sure that it must be Christian who has come to save them. To get his attention, she goes down, picks up a rod, and starts hitting the vent pipe loudly. Christian notices these sounds and tries to figure out where they are coming from. He hits the window again, trying to signal that he is there. Aiden and her son feel relieved for a moment, but their happiness doesn't last long because now water starts entering the vents too. Christian immediately goes into the basement through the water, swimming inside. At the same time, Aiden tells her son not to panic and says she will try to open the basement door. She dives into the water and starts opening it, not knowing that Christian is trying to open the same door from the other side. Finally, their combined efforts work and the door opens. They see each other and feel an overwhelming sense of relief. Christian tells Aiden to swim upstairs through the stairs while he goes to bring their son. Seeing his father, the boy becomes extremely happy, as if everything is fine again. Christian tells him to come, but the child is still very scared. He doesn't want to go underwater, but Christian explains that if they stay there, they will die, so they have to take this risk and swim. They keep swimming for a long time, but soon their son starts losing breath. To save him, Christian gives him mouth-to-mouth oxygen, and after regaining some energy, they continue swimming. As soon as Aiden sees her son, she quickly pulls him upward, but then she realizes that Christian is missing. In fact, after giving oxygen to his son, Christian himself had run out of breath. Without thinking, Aiden risks her own life, dives back into the water, and pulls Christian out. But now Christian is unconscious. They get scared, thinking he might be dead. So they start pressing his chest to push the water out and give him CPR, trying again and again. Even after multiple attempts, when Christian doesn't wake up, they begin to lose hope. Christian's son cannot accept that his father might have died because of him. In anger and desperation, he starts shouting and again begins pressing his father's chest, giving him breaths once more. And this time, Christian finally opens his eyes. This becomes a very emotional moment for them. The three of them look at each other and hug tightly. After that, they leave from there and head toward the hilltop where the other survivors are gathered. Julia is sitting on the hill, waiting for them, and is very worried. When she hears the sound of a helicopter, she feels even more sad because she thinks her family won't come back and only she will be rescued. She is not even ready to get into the helicopter. Her anxiety keeps increasing, but then suddenly she sees her family coming from a distance. The moment she sees them, she feels relieved. She runs toward her father, and Christian lifts her into his arms. The whole family becomes extremely happy because even after such a huge disaster, they have found each other again. It feels like they have been given a second life together. Soon, they are all rescued, and with this emotional reunion, the movie comes to an end.